On the 26th of August, 2026, a glacier collapse in the Himalayas unleashed a devastating flash flood along the Nepal-Tibet border. A torrent of water, mud and debris swept away villages, roads and bridges, leaving hundreds dead and more than 1,000 people missing. Among those still unaccounted for are 6 South Africans. Data analyst Terricia Govender from Isipingo Beach is one of them. The 33-year-old, who had just celebrated her birthday, was inside the Girong immigration office when floodwaters struck. Terricia was meant to be on a flight home on Friday, the 28th of August, after a solo spiritual pilgrimage. But instead of a reunion, her loved ones are clinging to hope as the search continues for those still missing. I would like to thank you so much for speaking to us today and inviting us into your home. I know it's been a very difficult time for your family. Linda, your 33-year-old daughter, Terricia Govender, has been reported missing since floods hit near the Nepal-Tibet border. You were telling us earlier, you and grandfather Krish, that she was there on a pilgrimage. If you could tell us a little bit about Terricia.
Terricia is a very vibrant, energetic child. She always wanting to do things her way. She's very courageous. When she first told me that she is going to go to the Himalayas on her own, I was shocked. I said, "No, Terricia, you can't go. It's dangerous. You're going to travel alone." She says, "No." And I said, "Okay, I'm coming with you." She says, "No, this is my pilgrimage. I'm doing it on my own." So I said, "That's fine." So she went last year to the Himalayas. She did the walk with the Isha Foundation. So when she came back, she planned a next one, which was this trip here. She went through all the applications. She passed everything. And so when she was ready to leave, and I told her, "Are you still sure you want to go on your own, She said, "Yes, I'm fine. I'm brave. I can do this." So on the 12th of August, she left South Africa. I was there with her at the Cape Town International Airport. And she arrived in Nepal to start the pilgrimage. So from there, one of the reasons Terricia did it during this time is because it's a birthday month. Terricia turned 33 on the 20th of August. And she was so happy. And on the day of her birthday, she called. She says, "Mommy, the Isha Sacred Walk, they did a video on me, an interview, and it's coming out soon." She says, "I must just watch out for that video." And in that interview, she talks about her birthday. Today is her birthday, and how she was so excited because she met Sadhguru.
Namaskaram. Today is my birthday. I'm so excited and happy that I started off the day seeing Sadhguru. It was such a blessing to be able to see him in person, up close and personal. And we've been on the bus ride so far on our way to Manasarova. And now we have this amazing lunch that I'm excited to eat, and it just looks delicious. I'm happy to be here with one who is going on this.
She was on top of the world. She phoned us immediately. She video called us and said, "Mommy, I met Sadhguru, not for the first time, for the second time." So from that day, they continued on their journey. She went to Mount Kailash. So on the way back from that trek, she saw Sadhguru. He was going up. So he was coming out of his jeep. And she went, she bowed down, got his blessings, and she continued on her journey. She phoned us again. So with Terricia, she was so excited to be on this trip. She shared everything with us. She video called us. We had a family group. She video called, and as soon as I saw that call, I took the call. And we saw what she saw. She it's beautiful. She showed us the place. She took videos. She sent photos. So she was continuously doing that. And she was always happy. Always happy. And we always asked her what food she was having. She loved the food. Terricia is a vegetarian. And so she was always sending us pictures of plated, food. And she'll tell me, Mommy, you need to learn how to cook this. You need to do this. You need to do that, She's a very good cook as well. She loved cooking. So on the way back, it was a Tuesday. So on the Tuesday, they had time to do shopping. Because when you're going on the pilgrimage, you got no time to do anything. So after she came back from Kailash, they were told, you're going back to Nepal, so you can start your shopping. So on the Tuesday afternoon, she video called me. We had a video call session for about 4 hours. So when she went, she made sure she had the eSIM, she had enough data. And she told me, just make sure you're always available. So she video called. We were doing shopping together. She went into each shop. She showed me, whatever was in the shop. She says, what I must buy for Tata? Let's just check this jersey. Let's just check this out. So she was very happy doing the shopping. She bought quite a few things. And so as she went to each shop, I was with her, picking out things, choosing. Then about 4:30, when I messaged her, asked her what you're doing. She says, no, I'm going to go to bed now. I'm tired, but I'll video call you tomorrow because we're doing more shopping in Nepal. I said, fine. Then the next day, Wednesday, about 5 to 10, and I'm thinking now, it's quite late on that side. Why hasn't she phoned?
And that's in the morning.
That's in the morning, yeah. So at 5 to 10, I messaged her, tried calling. It wasn't going through. So I didn't think anything about it because she told me that I may not get in contact with you all the time because as we're traveling, the signals are very intermittent, so you must, just wait. So I said, fine, I'm just thinking, okay, she's fine. She's with the group. Nothing can go wrong. So at 2:30, that Wednesday, I received an email from the Isha Foundation. And when I opened that email and when I read that email, I just burst out crying because I knew Terricia was in trouble and something was drastically wrong. I didn't even read that entire email. I just read the subject line, read the few words, and I was alone at home, so I just ran next door. Aunt lives next door. Spoke to her. I said, phone Dad immediately. She contacted Dad. I contacted my other 2 daughters. I contacted my sister. So they all came home, and then I received the call from Petra. She's the rep from the Isha Foundation. She's from Cape Town. So I told her, please tell me this is not true. This is not happening. Then she spoke to me. She told me this is all the information that we have. And immediately I started, okay, let me try to call Terricia. Not answering. So it was such devastating news. We never expected this. We never, we planned for everything else. We questioned each other, what can go wrong during this trip? And we went through everything we covered. We said, if you get sick, if you need any medical rescue, we got, helicopter. And so we went through that list, ticking everything off, but we never ever thought something like this would happen. And so from that Wednesday up till now, this morning, I message her. In the hope that, when she gets Wi-Fi, she's going to read it and say, okay, Mommy's been messaging me, worried, I need to contact her.
You've been messaging her from Wednesday.
I've been messaging her from Wednesday. I've been messaging her saying, you know what, you're not alone in this. You have to be brave. You're going to be rescued. Wherever you are, just be safe. Because Terricia is a very strong child. She's very intelligent. She can survive anything. She's a fighter. She's a fighter, and she will know that, you know what, she must make sure that we are not worried, that I am not worried, the grandfather is not worried. She needs to come back to us. She has to come back to us. And so all that must have been going through my, you know what, I have to fight through this. I have to swim or do whatever to get to safety. I'm hoping that she and the other members of the group are somewhere safe, waiting to be rescued. It's just that there's no signal out there. I think there's no electricity, there's no water. They must be cold, because we know the weather is not good there right now. It has been raining. We heard that there's more mudslides. That's why the rescue team couldn't get in. You know, but the sad part is we're not getting much information. We have been in contact with DERCO, with the people from Nepal, you know, all the relevant authorities. But the Isha Foundation, they have been keeping us informed, you know. No news, no positive news. I just want to hear that Terricia has been found. Mm-hmm. She's with us. We're bringing her home. Even if she's injured or whatever it is, you know, we just want her to come back home.
When you didn't hear from her around that 10 o'clock mark, did you think anything was amiss?
When Terricia went on this trip, there was always on my mind, whenever she did not communicate with me, you know, I tried not to think the worst. I said, no, you know, she is with a group of people. She is with the Isha Foundation, and nothing's going to go wrong. So I need to stop panicking. And never in my wildest dreams did I realize that something like this is going to happen. It was so difficult to grasp what was actually going on. You know, it's like, okay, this happened, so now what? What do we do from here, you know? You're telling me something happened to my daughter, but what is the next step? What are you all going to do? Mm. And from that day, it's like, it's just been so difficult. It's been very difficult for us to understand what's going on, why this is happening. You know, what are the government doing about it? What is the people in Nepal, the people in China, what are they doing? It's, you know, at this stage, we're just praying. We're trying to be positive. We're trying to be hopeful that she's going to come back. And the next time I see you, maybe Terricia will be sitting here in the interview. You know, I'm being very, very positive. Yeah, that's all I can do right now is, you know, just to ask people to pray, make sure that our child is brought back home. She's got so much going for her, so much going for her.
I know you've done a host of interviews. You're one of the first people who raised the alarm that your daughter was missing in Nepal. Putting it out on social media, it's out in the media, it's broadcasted. Has anyone tried to get a hold of you?
We've had people messaging us, you know, saying, trying to give us information and saying, have you contacted this person? Have you contacted that person? And all that has already been covered. We've already emailed DERCO. We've been in contact with Gift of the Givers. You know, we've sent Tericia's copy of a passport out, photo out. The reason why I wanted it to go out to social media is so if somebody finds her wherever she is, the photo is already out there. They would know, hey, you know what, I've seen this child on Facebook, Instagram, you know, and then we can get information to say, you know what, your daughter is in the hospital or she's found, you know, she's safe, and they can just bring her back home to us.
You mentioned earlier that you as a family, even grandfather Krish, would like to try and make your way there. What are you hoping for?
I just want to be able to go to Nepal and be there, because for me it's like I'm closer to her.
Yeah.
You know, as much as everybody is telling us we should not go, because there's nothing we can do there, but there's nothing that I can do here as well, except try and raise awareness. We hoping that we can get all our documents, ready, so that when we get any information, that I want to be there. I want Terricia to see us, then I can bring her home.
I had tried to, after our conversation yesterday, try to figure out where exactly she was in the mix, because from the visuals, which are so upsetting to see, you see that this incident starts at the very top, slowly builds as it comes to the bottom, right? Where do we know about where she was the last time, if there is a search and rescue effort happening in that area at this time?
Okay, so from the information that we have got from Sadhguru and from the Isha Foundation, they tell us that Terricia was part of the S3 group, and it was confirmed that they were inside the building. All 77 of them were inside the building. Praveen,
embassy.
In the embassy, yeah, the Tibet-Nepal embassy.
Yes.
So they were inside, and they were in constant communication with the Sadhguru and the other groups. So Praveen, the group leader of Tericia's group, was in contact with the other groups, and told them all of them are in there, and obviously they're just waiting. And then I think 10 minutes later, they could not get hold of the group. And so that's all the information that we were given, and we were told by the Isha Foundation. So she should be at the Chinese side of the border. She should have been in there. So from when this happened, so from the visuals, we are very hopeful that, this child is, and everyone else in the group, going to come back to us. But the visuals say a totally different story. It's horrifying to watch the videos, to watch all the images. Yeah, horrifying. I just pray and hope that my daughter Terricia comes home, and we're going to have lots of conversations about what happened, and she's going to give me little stories, about Mommy, how I survived, this is what I had to do, and she could write a book. Yes. Yeah, so we pray every day, we have a lot of support from our families, our friends, coming through, encouraging us, not to give up hope. And I cannot give up hope, not on Terricia. Terricia is, she'll come back and shout at me. She says, Mommy, you know me, you should not have worried. That's how she is. Anywhere, she goes, she doesn't tell me. She says, but you know me, I can handle myself. So she is. I've got to just think that child is coming back to me. Yeah. I can just pray.